Good day, math learners! Today, I'll discuss about factoring perfect square trinomial. Perfect square trinomial. From the study of special products, you have learned that the square of binomial is a trinomial. Such trinomials are called perfect square trinomial. As you can see in the table, in the column 1, square of binomial. When you expand the square of binomial, the result is a perfect square trinomial. The trinomials x squared plus 4x plus 4, x squared plus 6x plus 9, x squared minus 10x plus 25 are perfect square trinomials because they are the results of squaring a binomial. How to determine if the trinomial is a perfect square trinomial? You can determine that a trinomial is a perfect square trinomial if it has the following. 1. The first term is a perfect square. 2. The second term twice the product of the square roots of the first and last terms. The third one, the last term, is a perfect square. I will give you an example. Example number 1. Determine if x squared plus 16x plus 64 is a perfect square trinomial. We will see if that equation is a perfect square trinomial. Is the first term a perfect square? The first term is x squared. So, square root of x squared is equal to x. Therefore, it is a perfect square. It's a yes. Secondly, is the second term twice the product of the square roots of the first and last terms. Our first term is x squared and the last term is 64. So, 2 times square root of x squared times square root of 64 is equal to 2 times the square root of x squared is x times the square root of 64 is 8 is equal to 16x. As you can see, our middle term or second term is 16x. And the result is 16x also. Therefore, it's a yes. Letter C. Is the last term a perfect square? Our last term is 64. So, square root of 64 is equal to 8. And yes, it is a perfect square. Therefore, x squared plus 16x plus 64 is a perfect square trinomial. Let's go on to example number 2. Determine if x squared plus 5x plus 6 is a perfect square trinomial. Is the first term a perfect square? The first term is x squared. So, square root of x squared is equal to x. Therefore, it's a perfect square. Second condition. Is the second term twice the product of the square roots of the first and last terms. Our first term is x squared, last term is 6. So 2 times the square root of x squared times the square root of 6 is equal to 2 times the square root of x squared is x times the square root of 6 is equal to square root of 6. So the answer is 2 square root of 6x. As you can see, our second term is 5x, and the result is 2 square root of 6x, and it's a no. It doesn't follow the condition. Is the last term a perfect square? The last term is 6, so square root of 6 is still square root of 6. Therefore, it's a no, doesn't meet the condition. Therefore, x squared plus 5x plus 6 is not a perfect square trinomial. Factoring perfect square trinomial. Step 1. Determine if the trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. Step 2. Square roots the first and last terms. Step 3. Use the sign of the middle term between its roots. Step 4. Raise the binomial obtained in step 3 to the second power. Please don't forget those steps in factor out a perfect square trinomial. Example number 1. X squared plus 14x plus 49. Step 1. Determine if the trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. And yes, the given problem is a perfect square trinomial. Step 2. Square roots the first and last terms. Our first term is x squared. Our last term is 49. So square root of x squared is equal to x. Square root of 49 is equal to 7. X and 7 are the roots. Step 3. Use the sign of the middle term between these roots, x and 7. So the sign of the middle term is addition sign. So we'll use addition sign. So x plus 7. Step 4. Raise the binomial obtained in step 3 to the second power. So x plus 7 raised to 2. Thus, the factors of x squared plus 14x plus 49 are x plus 7 squared. Example number 2. 49x squared minus 56x plus 16y squared. Step 1. Determine if the trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. And yes, it is a perfect square trinomial. Step 2. Square roots the first and last terms. The square root of 49x squared, which is our first term, is equal to 7x. Square root of 16y squared, which is our last term, is equal to 4y. 7x and 4y are the roots. Step 3. Use the sign of the middle term between its roots 7x and 4y. So the sign of the middle term is subtraction or a minus sign. So 7x minus 4y. Step 4. Raise the binomial obtained in step 3 to the second power. So 7x minus 4y raised to 2. Thus, the factors of 49x squared minus 56x plus 16y squared, or 7x minus 4y raised to 2. Example number 3. 64 minus 48xy plus 9x squared y squared. Step 1. Determine if the trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. And yes, it's a perfect square trinomial. For step 2, square roots the first and last terms. Square root of 64, which is our first term, and it is equal to 8. Square root of the last term, which is 9x squared y squared, and that is equal to 3xy. And the roots are 8 and 3xy. For step 3, use the side of the middle term between these roots. The sign of the middle term is a minus sign. So 8 minus 3xy. In step 4, raise the binomial obtained in step 3 to the second power. So the answer is 8 minus 3xy raised to 2. Thus, the factors of 64 minus 48xy plus 9x squared y squared are 8 minus 3xy squared. Please answer the given formative assessment. Thank you for listening. Bye. What if the trinomial is not a perfect square? Can we still factor it? The answer is a big yes. This kind of trinomial is called quadratic trinomial. Quadratic trinomial is a second-degree polynomial with 3 terms. This is of the form of ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are non-zero integral coefficients. The discussion will be divided into 2 parts. Case 1, or discussion 1. A quadratic trinomial where a is equal to 1. Case 2. A quadratic trinomial where a is not equal to 1. Let's tackle first a quadratic trinomial where a is equal to 1. Quadratic trinomial where a is equal to 1. Examples of quadratic trinomial where a is equal to 1 are x squared plus x minus 6. That expression, it have 3 terms. So our a is 1. A is for the first term, and b for the second term, and c for the third term. B is equal to 1, and c is equal to negative 6. How about for that expression? Our a is equal to 1, our b is equal to negative 7, and our c is equal to negative 18. Another example. Our a for that expression is 1. Our b is equal to negative 4. And our c is equal to negative 12. Factoring quadratic trinomial where a is equal to 1. Step 1. Please familiarize the steps for you to solve on how to factor out quadratic trinomial if a is equal to 1. Step 1 again, find the factors of c whose sum or difference equals to the coefficient of b. Step 2. Copy the sign of the middle term of the trinomial for the first factor. If the sign of the last term is positive, both factors have the same sign. And if it is negative, the factors have different sign. Step 3. Using the form, fill this in with the coefficients and signs in steps 1 and 2. I will give you an example for you to know. Example number 1. The given expression x squared minus 3x minus 18. What are the factors of 18? Or our C is 18. That if going to subtract, why we use subtract not addition? Because the sign of the third term is a minus sign. Therefore, we will use subtract. Then, to each other, the answer is 3 because our coefficient of b is 3. The factors of 18 are 9 times 2, 6 times 3, 18 times 1. If we are going to subtract 9 minus 2, the answer is 7. So we will not use that. How about 6 minus 3? And the result is 3. It means that we will use the factors of 18, 6, and 3. How about 18 minus 1? The result is 17. Still, we will not use that factors of 18. Step 2. Determine the signs of each factors. X squared minus 3x minus 18. Copy the sign of the second term, which is a minus sign. Next, the sign of the third term is a minus sign. So, the factors must be in different operation. Our first factor is already a minus sign, so the next factor must be in addition sign. Step 3. Fill in the coefficients in step 1, which 6 and 3. But write the bigger number first. So x squared minus 3x minus 18 is equal to x minus 6x plus 3. Thus, the factors are x minus 6, x plus 3. Example number 2. The given expression y squared plus 5y plus 6. What are the factors of c, which is 6, that if going to add? We use add because the sign of the third term is addition sign. Going to add to each other, the answer is 5. We use 5 because the coefficient b is 5. The factors of 6 are 6 times 1, 2 times 3. We will use 2 times 3 because when you add 2 and 3, the result is 5. Determine the signs of each factors. Y squared plus 5y plus 6. Copy the sign of the second term for our first factor. The sign of our third term is addition sign. So we will use same operation. And the sign of our first factor is an addition sign. So we will use also an addition sign for our second factor. Step 3. Fill in the coefficients in step 1, which is 2 and 3. Write the bigger number first. Y squared plus 5y plus 6 is equal to x plus 3, x plus 2. Thus, the factors are x plus 3, x plus 2. Example number 3. X squared minus 9xy plus 18. Step 1. What are the factors of c, which is 18, that if going to add, because the sign of the third term is addition to each other, the answer is 90, which is the coefficient b is equal to 9. The factors of 18 are 9 times 2, 6 times 3, 18 times 1. If we're going to add 9 and 2, the result is 11, which is we will not use that factor. 6 plus 3 is equal to 9. Therefore, we will use 6 times 3. How about 18 times 1? If we add 18 and 1, the result is 90. Therefore, we will not use that factor. Step 2. Determine the signs of each factors. X squared minus 9xy plus 18 is equal to, first, our first factor, we copy the sign of the second term, which is minus sign. So, we will use minus sign for our first factor. Second, the sign of the third term is addition sign. It means that we will use same operation. The sign of our first factor is a minus sign, so the second factor is also a minus sign. Step 3. Fill in the coefficients in step 1. Write the bigger number first. X squared minus 9xy plus 18 is equal to x minus 6y, x minus 3y. Thus, the factors are x minus 6y, x minus 3y. Hello math learners! Today I will discuss about factoring quadratic trinomials. Good day math learners! Today will be the continuation for our discussion. Today I'm going to discuss about quadratic trinomial where a is not equal to what? Factoring quadratic trinomial where a is not equal to what? Step 1. Get the product of the coefficient a times c. Then find the factors of ac whose sum or difference equals to the coefficient b. Step 2. Copy the sign of the middle term of the trinomial for the first factor, and if the sign of the last term is positive, both factors have the same sign, and if it is negative, the factors have different sign. Step 3. Using that form, fill this in with the coefficients and signs in steps 1 and 2. Step 4. Then divide the second terms of the factors by a. If the quotient is not a whole number, transform the denominator beside a. I will give you an example for you to know. Example 1. The given expression 9x squared plus 15x plus 4. Step 1. What are the factors of 36 that if going to add to each other, the answer is 15? Why is it we use 36? Because if you're going to multiply a times c, our A is 9. Our C is 4. 9 times 4 is 36. Why we use add? It's because the sign of the third term is addition sign. Why is it we use 15? Because the coefficient B is 15. The factors of 36 are 36 times 1, 12 times 3, 6 times 6, 9 times 4. What factors that we are going to use? That when you add the two numbers, the answer is 15. And that is 12 times 3. Because when you add 12 plus 3, the result is 15. Step 2. Determine the signs of each factors. 9x squared plus 15x plus 4. What will be our first factor? What will be the sign? And that is addition sign, because the sign of our second term is addition sign. Just copy the sign. How about our second factor? The sign of our third term is addition. According to step 2, if the sign of the third term is addition sign, therefore, you will use the same sign of the first factor. The sign of our first factor is addition. Therefore, the sign of our second factor is also addition. Step 3. Fill in the coefficients in step 1. First, write the bigger number. The bigger number is 12, then 3. Therefore, x plus 12 times x plus 3. Step 4. Divide the second term of the factors by a, which is 9. X plus 12 divided by 9. X plus 3 divided by 9. When you divide 12 to 9 and also 3 divided by 9, the result is 4 over 3, 1 over 3. Then the next is you need to simplify. To simplify, multiply 3 to x. And for the second factor also, you multiply 3 to x, so that our factor is a whole number. And that is 3x plus 4, 3x plus 1. Thus, the factors of 9x squared plus 15x plus 4 are 3x plus 4, 3x plus 1. You can check your answer by multiplying 3x plus 4, 3x plus 1 by using distributive property. Example number 2. The given expression 2x squared minus 11x plus 15. Step 1. What are the factors of 30 that is going to add to each other? The answer is 11. Why is it we use 30? Because if we're going to multiply A times C, our A is 2, our C is 15. So 2 times 15, that is equal to 30. Why we use add? Because the sign of our third term is addition sign. Why we use 11? Because our coefficient B is 11. The factors of 30 are 30 times 1, 15 times 2, 6 times 5. What factors that we are going to use? that when you add the two numbers, the answer is 11. And that is 6 times 5. Because when you add 6 plus 5, the result is 11. Step 2. Determine the signs of each factors. 2x squared minus 11x plus 15. The first factor is x minus. Because we use minus sign, it is because the sign of our second term is a minus sign. Therefore, you just copy the sign. How about the second term? I mean the second factor. And that is x minus. Because the sign of our third term is addition sign. If that is addition, the first factor and the second factor must be the same. That is x minus. Step 3. Fill in the coefficients in step 1. Write bigger number first. And that is x minus 6, x minus 5. In step 4, divide the second terms of the factors by a, which is 2. And that is x minus 6 divided by 2, x minus 5 divided by 2. When you divide 6 divided by 2, and that is 3, 5 divided by 2, and still it is 5 over 2. You need to simplify, because our second factor is not a whole number. Therefore, you will multiply 2 times x, and that is 2x, as we can see. So, that is x minus 3, 2x minus 5. Thus, the factors of 2x squared minus 11x plus 15 are x minus 3, 2x minus 5. Example number 3. The given expression 2x squared minus 3x minus 5. Step 1. What are the factors of 10 that are going to minus to each other? The answer is 5. We use 10 because when you multiply a times c, our a is 2, our c is 5. 2 times 5, and that is equal to 10. We use minus because the sign of our third term is a minus sign. We use 3, it's because our coefficient b is 3. The factors of 10 are 10 times 1, 5 times 2. What will be the factors of 10 that we are going to use? If we are going to subtract the two numbers, the result is 3. What will be? And that is 5 times 2. 5 minus 2, and that is equal to 3. Step 2. Determine the signs of each factor. 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 is equal to the sign of our second term is a minus sign. Just copy the sign for the first factor. And for our second factor, as you can see, the sign of our third term is a minus sign. If it is a minus sign, both factors have different signs. We have already our first factor is a minus sign. Therefore, our second factor is addition sign. Step 3. Fill in the coefficients in step 1. Write bigger numbers first. 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 is equal to x minus 5, x plus 2. Divide the second terms of the factors by a, which is 6. and that is x minus 5 over 2, x plus 2 over 2. 5 divided by 2 is still 5 over 2. 2 divided by 2, and that is what? X minus 5 over 2, x plus 1. Our first factor is not a whole number. We need to simplify. So 2 will be multiplied to x. 2 times x, and that is 2x. And the result is 2x minus 5, x plus 1. Thus, the factors of 2x squared minus 3x minus 5 are 2x minus 5, x plus 1. Please answer the given formative assessment. Thank you for listening.